More unused type combinations in the Croneo region, created by Dr. Evie. Like transcription.
Scotland and just a touch of Canada. Last time
Just a touch though, not too much.
And then
Don't need that Canadian healthcare.
Today I will show my ideas that could occupy the region.
I noticed Sandagast.
Let's start off with a regional variant. Fairy Fire is one of the most imaginative type combinations for Fakemon creators, but I can't do a region based on Scotland without doing a Will-O-Wisp Pokemon. Mythological creatures
Just makes sense, yeah. So what are you gonna do, for Litwick or something?
Scotland. They're portrayed as very Celtic in pop culture, so it just makes sense. Will-O-Wisps
Fair
are
enough.
fire fairies, which makes the combo obvious, much like Ghost Fire due to them being spirits. So
Again, fair enough.
I mean,
yeah, Litwick makes the most sense.
Have prominent fire motifs in their designs.
It's a candle Pokemon, it's perfect.
Similar to the myth, so why not make it a full-on Will-O-Wisp? Here's Croneo and Litwick. It's a full-blown Will-O-Wisp.
It was kind of like it's melting a bit.
Appear as just a flame. I love how it's very different to the original line, but captures the essence of what a Litwick is. I also love how the hair changed from melted wax to a wispy fire. Will-O-Wisps are
That's
just
cool. I like that
spirits,
too.
So I removed the candle. I like to think this was the original Litwick variant, but some rogue Litwicks possessed candles and proceeded to feed on life essence. These Litwick aren't that greedy, but they do still lure travelers to their doom. They're like little tricksters, much like the Impidimp line, so I feel the fairy type works here. To evolve Unovan Litwick, you needed to make it reach the absurdly high level 41. Lampent isn't that much stronger than a base form starter, so to make it still difficult yet possible to obtain at an early
I like Unova too, these levels are ridiculous.
Litwick via high friendship into Croneo and Lampent, which is
hello.
So instead of guiding travelers to their
I like that kind of video. It goes from a rogue flame to a torch.
Especially since it can deal with dark types due to the fairy typing. But while
it can deal with dragon types thanks to the fairy typing.
As they were before. But why is this a torch? A few reasons actually. The wisp part of the term means bundle of sticks, or paper sometimes used as
I know a British term for bundle of sticks, but I'm not allowed to say it.
Same as how jack-o'-lanterns come from the name Jack.
No, it's British term for cigarettes. Bundle of sticks is something else.
Dang
it, ruin the joke.
On Link Boys, who were just boys who carried torches to help pedestrians for a fee. That was a real job. In the Scottish Highlands,
I mean, I believe it.
To take the form of
electricity hadn't been invented yet. You gotta make do with what you got.
There's also an image of Cupid as a Link Boy, which in my opinion furthers the fairy type connection due to Cupid's connotations with love, as well as the angel wings he possesses. That's why there's an allusion to angel wings in the design. Since Unovan Lampent
there's more like demon wings.
I felt it would only make sense for this variant to evolve via.
Then again,
here's
love can go both ways.
It still appears
you
to
know
be
what
a
I mean.
chandelier, as well as keeping the fiery elements.
Whoa!
But why does it look like, well, that? It's actually meant
it looks
to be
like a tripod from War of the
You heard me
Worlds.
correctly, a lighthouse. Will-O-the-Wisps, Spunkies as they're known in the Highlands.
This reminds you of Driftbloom with those legs.
They had been known to be mistaken for harbour lights. I generalized this to lighthouses as I feel this would make for an interesting design. Both Lampent and Chandelier.
Fair enough, I guess. I mean, I do kind of like how it slowly goes up from random flame all the way to a lighthouse.
The fairy type, but they're still just as malevolent as their Unovan counterparts, which applies to Litwick too. Their shinies do reference.
The shiny look like their original. Okay, I like that.
And they share the same abilities.
Can't hate that.
Which is now my new ability, Spectre, which gives them Ghost-type Stab, due to the Will-O-the-Wisp's ties with death and the spirit world. I mean,
makes sense to me.
Who tried to kill you after all. Souls of the dead who want to add more to their numbers. I guess you could say these are also
goody gumdrops.
Death. Also, this line is the ace of the fire-type gym leader, Charlotte. Now, how about the fairy ground type? This was a hard one. But
I'd imagine so.
Has connections to the ground, and here's a Scottish fairy creature that does a lot of household cleaning. The brownie.
It was like Pinocchio.
Brownies are a kind of
or
dessert
Dobby
too, but as much as I like the idea of a brownie, I don't think there's quite enough to it.
The brownie type Pokemon.
But then again, the cleaning profession tends to use sponges, and a sponge is another kind of cake.
Sponge cake.
Plenty of other fairy type Pokemon are based on food.
I mean, true, yeah.
Meet Spongy.
I think this thing's freaking adorable.
Spongy are kitchen sponges.
It's a sponge cake Pokemon. Like the swirly things kind of look could be eyeballs.
Sugary goodness based on Scottish tablet.
Dude, that sounds amazing. You just clean your counter some stain, it turns into a delicious treat.
Yes, its mouth is on the underside because that's how it eats dirt.
Ah.
Bakers like to have these little guys around as they keep the place clean and produce delicious edible treats.
Oh yeah, you need that thing around at all times. Never evolve.
Hot Springs location, just how you would get Croneo vulnerable, or by using a fairy charge on the special rod. Check out the video.
We've gone over the charges on the wands already. We know how that
If
works.
these conditions are met at level 40 or higher, Spongy will evolve into Croneo.
Huh.
The name
That's interesting design.
Sponge.
Makes it look like an old lady.
And Peripera. The phylum sea
Like old school. They like all Golden
Croneo
Girls.
is another kind of dessert in Scotland made of raspberries with cream, oatmeal, honey, and whiskey. And the cylindrical shape of this specific Croneo reminded me of the cylindrical shape of the stovepipe sponge.
Huh.
Scotland doesn't have the stovepipe sponge to my knowledge, but sponges can
It's
actually
in Canada,
found here, even if they're rare. I kind of smushed these ideas together.
Works
and
enough
it's a
for me. I
weird
guess
colour
explains the
scheme on
walking
sponge.
stick.
It also looks like it has a cane.
Yeah.
Almost like a granny.
It does kind of look like a
And
granny,
on
so it
Granny,
makes
A
sense.
sea anemone from the Victorian era.
Yeah, this is one of those designs that inherently you're like, what? And then you see the inspiration on stuff. It's like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that, you know?
Celebrated Cnidarian of all time. I know sea anemones and sea sponges are different, but I thought it would be a fun reference, considering that they have similar vibes. But also, grannies are known for baking and stuff. Plus,
True.
Anemones are found across the British Isles.
See, not all cliches are a bad thing.
Though
Though not all cliches are created equal.
Ice poison is another difficult.
Dude, you froze my poison!
Poisonous, but also frozen makes sense, but I never felt this would be inspiring. But then
I guess
someone
not.
suggested to me that perhaps a hollyberry would work. No, not Halleberry, a hollyberry.
Does anyone even remember if she
You know, the sorts
exists?
of things
Yes,
that
some
you put on
probably do.
Christmas wreaths? Ice works because of its
Going
ties
off
to
of a
Christmas
Christmas
and
C-store
vibes
design.
to
Alright, well, we're in January, so I think it's still allowed.
the holiday itself.
Mine just didn't come out in
And
January,
poison
so
works
it was still
because
pretty
these
fine.
berries are poisonous. Then I thought of making it a regional variant of a berry Pokemon. Meet
I think that's a
Cronian
sweet
Cherubi,
idea.
which is based on hollyberries and mistletoes. It does evolve into Cronian Cherim, but if you recall, Cherim has two forms, Overcast and Sunshine. Since Galarian Darmanitan translated the Zen mode form, I don't see why I shouldn't adapt these forms.
I'm fine with that. I think the Darumaka Darumashing transformation was pretty cool too. Oh, look at all those freaking
as many creatures hibernate
overgrowth
during
thing
the winter,
lines.
even though this Pokemon likes
Looks
to
almost like a
grow, but I'll get
bush.
into that when talking about its ability. And also, a holiday form.
Oh yeah.
Kinda a pun on Holly.
Love how it
and
looks like a
holiday,
wreath
as well
with
as
a
on
bow,
the
too.
sunny day.
Looks
From
great.
Gen 5 onwards, the form change was tied to Flower Gift, so I'm gonna do the same here with the Cronian
So I
ability.
guess this would be with
Holiday
hail.
Gift. It also has the same effect of boosting all Pokemon in the
I didn't know that
Pokemon
Cherim got a
Center
transformation thing. I thought it was still
by
based on
1.5
weather.
times. Except this time in hail instead of
Then again, when was the last time you saw
The only other
Cherim?
change is that the Cherim with this ability will not have a 1.5 times buff when it's in holiday form, but a 2 times buff.
Dang,
Considering
big
I made
boost.
stat spread
Then
with
again,
all these
yeah, going up those stats,
with
Cherim
this
needs
addition to
it.
holiday
I
gift,
think right now it's
Cronian
in PU or
Cherim pack and
UU. Not every
astonishing
Pokemon
with
needs to
ice
be an
I hope
OU,
their typing
but
comes across in this concept.
helping out some of the smaller guys couldn't hurt anything.
But hey,
Plus, it would be hilarious to see
Cherim
Cherim going toe-to-toe with, like, Mewtwo.
Pokemon which aren't are the mimic Pokemon. I don't mean Ditto or Zorua, but I do mean Pokemon who fulfill the role of a mimic.
There's a lot of Voltorbs, aren't they? They struck gold with that design. They haven't looked
Pokemon's
back.
equivalent of chests are Pokeball sprites and models in the overworld, so it's only natural. For
Yeah, the
some
frickin'
Pokemon
treasure chest is the only
equivalents
one
of
sticking out
mimic
like a sore
enemies to
thumb.
look like them. I realized none of these were in my list of returning Pokemon, so I decided to make my own. Meet Golf Orb. The name
It's a
comes
freaking
from
golf ball.
and orb, a spherical object which golf balls and
Looks adorable,
Pokeballs
though.
are. If the name sounds similar to another mimic Pokemon, that's intentional.
Really?
With the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I thought it would make sense if I
Scarlet and Violet
had
came
this
out now,
Pokemon
huh.
be to Voltorb similar to what Wiglet is to Diglett.
You made this,
It's
I
to
made
try
this.
and make this look different to Voltorb while making it similar enough, but I think it works.
I think
The
so
lore
too. I
is
like
that
its
this
design.
Pokemon
Looks
had a
good.
common ancestor with the likes of Geodude and Rock'n'Roller,
Mm.
and ended up as a spherical and somewhat squishy rock life form. But when trainers kept throwing Pokeballs and items in the overworld looked like Pokeballs, it started to adapt by changing its external colours to mimic said balls. Similar to how peppered moths adapted to differently coloured tree bark during
Oh,
industrial times.
that's
This Pokemon
interesting.
is based on golf balls,
It's happened in
and
history
the way
before,
they spread their
too.
species is by being hit to a faraway place, and it thinks Pokeballs
Whee!
are where they are for similar reasons. Hence why they adapted, because they thought it would give them an evolutionary advantage, when in reality it doesn't.
It could be
Speaking of
evolutionary
evolution,
advantage to be
Golf
hit
doesn't
by a
exist.
putter.
It's a single
Sure.
stage. Even if you don't think this deserves
You
to be a
fool!
true
You hit me
convergent
with a
species,
putter, thus
I think
giving
it's
me
hard
the
to deny that
advantage.
The name still makes sense. So, golf.
Imagine getting hit with a golf
Scotland
club and
invented
being like,
and
I
developed
won.
the sport. There are plenty of golf courses throughout Scotland, most famously at
There was
St
going to be a
Andrews, the
golf
town
course
which is
in
the
frickin'
birthplace
Sun
of
and
the
Moon,
sport,
but
and most
well, that got
infamously, a
scrapped
golf
with
course in
the 11th hour.
Aberdeenshire belonging to
Still
a
on the map,
former
though.
president of the United States. Said former president totally not inspiring the appearance and name of the normal type gym leader Donny,
Oh,
whose ace
nice.
is a golf orb. Yeah.
Cool.
So why normal?
Which means it doesn't
What
evolve
kinda
as a
does
single
make sense
stage.
due to how hard
Neat.
they are.
Unless it's the
But
first
surely it would
gym, in
make
which
sense
case,
to be a mono-rock
it's
type?
fine they don't
I
evolve
disagree.
Pokemon.
Remember how I said golf balls were kinda squishy? That's how they're able to be hit as far as they are. They're made of rubber covered in a polymer which ends up being rock solid, unless enough pressure is applied, i.e. via a golf club being swung hard and fast, which squishes it ever so
Hit 'em as hard as you
slightly, which
can.
gives it a bit of a boost. Normal types tend to be squishy. That's my logic. Also, one
Okay.
more thing. This is one of those mon that has many forms. The mimic is a gimmick.
Oh, so it has
Not only did I
multiple
want
forms,
it to
sort of like
mimic items,
Minior.
but overall TMs too. Because I'm evil. So there's a yellow form. But I wanted other balls to be referenced, such as the Premier Ball that Donny uses, the Great and Ultra Balls.
I like how the
people
Great Ball
want
is smiling.
Voltorb and Electrode to evolve into, the Dusk Ball, which works really well in caves where this Pokemon has its roots, and the Master Ball, just as a rare treat. Sticking
Why
to the
not?
rock theme, I'm gonna cut to the chase with Ghost Rock. These are
Sounds cool to me, I like
Sandy
that.
Gas and Croneo Palisand.
Yeah.
Haunted castles. Though
Yay!
Sandy Gas is
Actual
based on
castles,
rock,
not
which
sand
are
castles.
Iron Age drystone hollow-walled structures found in Scotland. They appear similar,
Looks like a
though
nuclear
are obviously
like
much
tower.
smaller. So perfect for Sandy Gas. As for Palisand,
But also reminds me of that
it's a castle
giant
now.
snow
To
tower
convey
that's
the
where we
hauntedness
made
of
the
it,
snowball
it has
fight
a more
episode.
spooky look to it. Oh
Just
yeah,
builds a
these
giant
are haunted
thing at
rocks
the
and
end.
castles. Haunted castles are
And it gets into a fight with a tree.
and I feel like making it into a Pokemon isn't too much of a stretch. But how are castles Scottish? Said no one who's watched those wizard movies, considering the castles there were filmed in Scotland. Not only that, Scotland has over 1,000 castles. I don't think you've noticed, but
Dang.
we're not a big country. More people live in London, England than the entirety of Scotland. We don't need this many castles. All of this backs up why, if you know anything about Scotland, you're not that surprised I made these two into castles.
Right
Well,
the show I
a
watched
brick and
the
a castle.
frickin' like
They're
the guy
different.
goes around the
Also,
world
they'd
seeing
be
so
much
spectacular
bigger than their
advantage,
Roman
just like
counterparts.
hey,
Both
I'm so
dragons
glad
have
these
brain
peasants
like
are starving to
dragon
death so we
type.
can build
What
these
about the
luxurious
big
giant
fish?
mansions.
So, what
Some
type of
things
dragon?
never
Well, a bug
change.
for starts. But dragon? Dragon types tend to be aggressive looking with a few exceptions.
So adding
Full of
insect on
vibes
top of it just sort of
myths
like an
and
interesting
legends, and are
pick.
the arcane sorcery type. Midges seem aggressive when they bite and come for
It looks
Scotland.
more like
They're
it's getting
tiny creatures that
Thanos.
form in a group, as does the Gigalorum myth, which are the smallest possible bug. That made me think about what the smallest possible thing to exist is. An atom? Well, atoms
yeah.
are made from protons.
You
neutrons,
can't make
and
the smallest
electrons,
Pokemon
so
actually be
some
the size of an
things
atom, otherwise
do
we can't
exist.
see it.
That made me think of Marvel and how Ant-Man can go subatomic with science. And since science and magic
With the power
are
of
the same thing
science.
in Marvel, let's say this bug Pokemon, based on midges and the Gigalorum, uses arcane sorcery to go subatomic, but also swarm together cause they're midges. Meet Gigaligia. The name comes from Gigalorum, Midge, and Militia, since I feel like that works given the Midge inspiration.
I'd say
It's
so,
kind of
yeah.
Annoying. Just like
This thing would be
midges.
smaller
It's a
and
single-stage
exotic.
mon, but it's not very strong.
It has to
Only
be,
80
right?
out of 70 base
But
total.
it's also has to be
But
visible.
as I said, it can use the arcane power of the dragon type to shrink down and become subatomic.
Oh, so it can
and
shrink.
swarm
That's the
militia
superpower.
of
So you can
its
just
kind
see it normally, but then it
enter
can shrink.
its swarm form.
Jeez.
As you can see, it does the same thing as Wishy-Washy.
I was thinking it was
Difference
gonna
is
like its
it's
power
stronger.
miniaturize and
It
be
is
like
a
in
dragon
Gen 1
type
where they
object.
actually
Jay,
miniaturize.
the artist, gave it more shark-like elements to make it appear more like a dragon type. It's unknown how many
I'm good with
Gigaligia
that.
are in the swarm form, since they become infinitesimally small. It's in this form when above 25%,
A lot.
just like Wishy-Washy, except at level 25 or over instead of level 20 or over.
Hmm.
Speaking of bug types, according to all known laws of aviation,
No,
there
jeez.
is no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fast little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible.
That movie sucks, but it's
Especially
never
when that bee is a
boring.
Snorlax? So after going through
Wait, what?
many ideas
Snorlax?
about bug type,
What are you
I
doing
settled
here?
on a non-insect animal, since that's interesting. Preferably one that would suit the normal type, have an addiction to honey, and then gain the bug type upon evolution. Munchlax is a normal type with infamous connections to honey, and waiting. A
And
lot of
waiting, and
But
waiting.
honey is
It's
what's
not worth
relevant
it.
here. So I decided to put honey on Snorlax.
There,
to
yeah,
make it more
oh no,
appropriate.
laws of
And now to
aviation.
B,
Snorlax
all
ain't
because
flying, no
Mudkip
fucking
ate
way.
too much Cronian honey. So that's one Pokemon
Even in a
line
bug's
every
life, they were just like, that
undertype
caterpillar ain't flying.
What did you think? Do you think these concepts fit the typing? Do you think they fit the region? What would you have
The
done?
Snorlax is
What
funny
do you
though. If
think
I saw that, I'd be
they
like,
would have
ha!
next? Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and ring the notification bell.
Please
Check
do
out
all
the
those
Croneo
things and
Region's
go
Instagram
check
as well
out,
as my Patreon page if
go
you
and
want
check
to
out
support the
Dr. Evie,
series.
link in the
And
description
I'll
as
see
always.
you next time for a video dedicated to regional variants.
Well, I guess we'll worry about that one next time. But yeah, these were some cool Pokemon to check out. I like the Turim regional variant turning into a bit of a Christmas theme. The Snorlax one was funny as well. The Dragon Bug thing was pretty inspiring. Just the whole, like, it becomes more draconic as it gets a swarm ability, and it could go microscopic and be small and Joltik, but also still have a threatening side to it. The Litwick Will-o'-the-Wisp thing was pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about it becoming a lighthouse, but I think it's pretty inspired overall. Just the idea that it becomes more like, because like after all, it goes from random running around flame to a thing you hold with the fire stick thing, and then finally into a full-on lighthouse, so it guides away. So there is a connection there. It isn't like one of those where it's like, I don't know, if we went from frickin', I don't know, there's a couple evolutions where you just turn your head and go, what? I can't name any off the top of my head, but yeah. Cacnea into Cacturn, I guess. It becomes a Scarecrow because screw you. I thought the sponge thing was also kind of cool. Don't know how I feel about it as evolution, but I don't think it's bad. Just one of those where it's like, it needs a little bit of time to grow on me. But I think the sponge guy is cool. Excuse me. Also, the golf ball was just kind of funny. Just the idea, like, aha, you have hit me with a 2x4, thus giving me the advantage. It's just like, what? Also, the regional, all the different Pokeball inspired forms for it. That's pretty cool. Sort of like how frickin' Voltorb becomes a great ball when upon evolution, shiny form and all that. And the Scotland castles is pretty cool too. I can't hate the Sandygast idea where it just becomes a sand well, they go from sand castle to actual castle. It's like, alright, that makes sense. And yeah, Scotland has a lot of castles. I mean, castles are awesome to look at and all that, but it's like, why do you need a castle? You got like 10 people. You're just showing off. At least when kids do that shit, they're kids and they're just playing. I don't know. Listen fondly to the sound of the peasants slowly starving to death while you build your giant stupid fort. Ah well, at least they look cool, I guess. But yeah, those are all the other type combinations. I think there were some pretty cool ones. Bug Dragon, freaking Fairy Fire, one normal dragon. Like what? There were some cool designs in there that it inflicted on it well. I still think these were actually, these would be interesting combinations to see the actual thing. I think there was like normal poison. It's like something like that. It's like, I don't know. Cool designs and inspired ideas and lots of good looks. So yeah. I don't have much else to say, so again, go check out Dr. Eevee. And I guess for now, I'll just thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see all of you next time. Later.